Hi, so behind the camera today because I thought I'll go in the park. I'll read for a bit in the park. It's a lovely sunny day. Being a numpty, I forgot I also have really bad hay fever. So after about half an hour in the park, my eyes have come up all bloodshot and puffy, really nice. So this is me behind the camera, and I'm not going to be much of a good camera model today, hand model today, because I had nails on yesterday and one of them pinged off last night. So right, might as well ping them all off. So, and then I thought, oh, I ain't got any nail glue remover, so nice. There you go, you can have nightmares tonight. Anyway, I'm whiffly waffling. So, this is a look. No, it's meant to be a month's worth of 2000 ADs. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So nearly, it's just shy of 2 months worth of 2000 ADs. Yeah, I'm really bad. So this is quite a good chunk to review because it's quite a transitional period. So the first few comics, first few progs are like coming to the end of most of the storylines, and then there's a extra thick one which has like one shots and some stories leading into the new story arcs, new characters, new stories, etc., which are the majority of those. So we'll do them one at a time, and we'll start with Prog 2474 with the legend Steve Yule of Zenith fame, Invisibles fame, and so many others, Sinister Dexter, etc. One of my favourite artists. Really cool cover. So the first story is the continuation from. If you look at my other video, it started off with this storyline. There's 3 episodes of this storyline, Climate Crisis, with written by Rob Williams and Ned Hartley, and art by PJ Holden, who's such a versatile artist, becoming one of my firm favourites now. But this is great. It's a brutal Judge Dredd tale. I do like how sometimes Dredd can either lean into weird humour, or it can just go like here, balls to walls violence. And this is basically like a heist, futuristic heist story, and it doesn't shy away on showing the effects of the things. And there's this villain here whose face can change shape, so he can look as anybody. So yeah, still continues to be a very high quality story. And then we carry on with Brink. We are now on part 3 of this storyline. Ian J. Colbert's artwork is just superb. This is a series that if you've not been guessing from the get-go in 2000 AD, I have. I highly, highly recommend buying the collections. It's some of the best hard sci-fi stories out there, whether it's in film, books, or comics. It's Dan Abnett's masterpiece. It's the best thing he's written ever, period. And I love Lawless, but it's just superlative. It's got that hard sci-fi Arthur C. Clarke 2001 kind of vibe to it, but with a police procedural thrown on top of that. And the artwork by Andrzej Kolbard is just so good. It looks simplistic initially, but when you watch, it's like Mike Mignola, where what he keeps out of the art is unnecessary, and he just focuses on the pureness of art, and the colours as well just play so much. It's just a great mystery. And then we have part 2 of the Varg thrillers. These are really good thrillers. These are just like they do Future Shocks, Time Twisters, etc. with 2000 AD, where they're just one and dones. The thriller ones, it means they can develop the stories more. They can have it's a 3-part story, and some of them, quite a few actually, have like ended up being ongoing series. It's like a tester to see if these characters will uh, be popular enough to have an ongoing series. It's basically what Marvel used to do with Marvel Premier and stuff like that. So this one is written by Liam Johnson and art by Steve Austin, not the $6 million man. I do apologise for my voice. My nose is getting very bunged up again because of the bloody hay fever. Um, it's It's good, but it's not an essential read. It's fine. Um, but there's been better three-part stories in 2008. It's just fine. And then there's a Future Shock. Um, this got me confused because I thought the character was Devlin Moore, the vampire exorcist, and it's not. But yeah, it's a short, sharp shock, which 2008 is good for. You can tell this is a transitionary period. Normally, when the progs get onto like a relaunch issue, which they do about every 4 months, stuff like that, 6 months. You can tell the stories are running the course, so they'll throw in a few future shocks just to pad it out a bit. And then part 12 of The Discarded by Pete Milligan and Kieran McKeown. This has been so good. So it's basically a revolutionary who gets sentenced onto a prison planet, and his daughter works for the police state. She basically rebelled against everything that her dad stood for. She thought what her dad was doing was wrong, and it turns out that maybe he wasn't. Maybe she's been manipulated by the police state. And so it's about her going to the prison planet and hunting him down. And there's this strange object, which this like sentient AI object as well. It's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. Pete Milligan's he should be spoken of in the same breath as Grant Morrison and other writers of that ilk because he's as good sometimes, if not better. But for some reason, he just never. He's got a following, but he's more of a cult popularity. But yeah, very satisfactory issue. One dud. The Future Shock's a bit of a dud. The Thriller's okay, but the main ongoing series are great. And then wonderful Colin Wilson cover here, Edge of the World. So this is the wrap up. I think it's the wrap up. Yeah, the wrap up of Climate Crisis. Again, PJ Holden wraps up really well. Very satisfying. It's just been a fun 6-part story. This is what I love about the Freedom of a Judge Dredd strip. It could go from being like a, it could have like an epic tale that can be like 24 episodes, or it could be like short length ones like this, 6 lengths, or like a 6-part one, or it could just be a one and done 6-page one shot story. It's so flexible. So many genres I cover. Yeah, really good. Really enjoyable. Brink carries on. The dialogue in Brink, it's one of those books where there can be episodes where there's just not really any action. It's the dialogue. And you sometimes be thinking, nothing's happened. But it has because you've got yourselves invested in the characters. It's like watching reading a really high quality detective procedural. It's just so good, and she's such a great character. She's wonderful. A nice bit of a monobrow going on there. So the Fag Thrillers one, who is Adrian Apollo, wraps up. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. It felt very much like an old EC, as in E, not E for Echo, EC like sci-fi thriller where there's like a sting in the tail. But yeah, it's okay. This Future Shock was amazing. This is what I love about 2008 Future Shocks. Sometimes they can use it can be like an introductory point for new writers and artists, and other times, like here, they have established writers and artists like Andy Ewington, who's got quite a few stories under his belt, and then of course John McCrea. I love John McCrea's new art style. It's scratchy, it's grimy, it's wonderful, and this was a really good one and done short story. A very good sting in the tail. It's basically about this guy who gets a magical tattoo. It's just wonderful. It's the type of thing it's like a very grim, dark Twilight Zone episode. It's fantastic. I mean, look at that. That artwork is just superb. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. To say it's just a one and done story, it was my favourite story in the issue for this prog, and there's a lot of good stories in here. Then we've got the wrap up of The Discarded, a bittersweet conclusion, but a necessary conclusion, and it sets the stage for maybe a potential volume 2. And I hope there is. It's been very enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. The artwork was gorgeous. So that wraps up the stories, apart from Brink. So this is kind of like a jumping on point. One thing that doesn't annoy me with modern 2000 AD, more so than old 2000 AD. When they did jumping on points in like 80s 2000 AD, everything stopped. I think logistically it can be a bit of a nightmare, but unfortunately with this one, everything has stopped apart from Brink. But it doesn't affect me, but I think if you jump in on, you just have to suck it in and just realise that you're just going to have to pick up the pieces for Brink. But the rest of it is brand new. So really fun. I think it's like one, two, yeah, a really fun 4 parts Judge Dredd story. Flames and White Phosphorus by T.C. Eglinton and art by 2000 AD mainstay Paul Marshall. He's a funny one, Paul Marshall. I like his art and I don't in equal measure. Sometimes it just looks slightly skew with, but other times it looks really, really good. But yeah, this is good about these young like influencers who are influencers, but also vigilantes as well. So they post when they're going to like do a bit of taking justice into their own hands, and then there's like this corrupt billionaire in the background. Really good setup for the story. And then the return of helium. This is amazing. I'm not really the biggest fan of like steampunk, but this like if you're gonna get a steampunk story, at least make it exceptional. This is exceptional. So it's by Ian Edgerton and art by Disraeli. Disraeli's artwork is just out of this world. He should be a household name or on everybody's lips for how to be a comic artist. He's doing a fantastic run on Scarlet Traces, and he's done lots of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. It's just absolutely amazing. He does his own colours as well. There's no artist quite like him. He's very, very unique in his style, and I adore him. This is just a really wonderful series. I really highly recommend this series. For me personally, it gets a 9 out of 10. So because of it being a jumping on point, it's a 48-page issue, so it gives you more breathing room with the story. So it gives you a nice first chapter of this new arc of Helium. And just look at the colours, what he employs here. Just absolutely gorgeous. 2000 AD really has, for the past 10 years, had a renaissance in quality. Back to the glory days of the 80s. And I think it's a shame that people are scared to jump back in. And then we have a Red Dragon one-shot by the regular team who took over from Grant Morrison's run. So Red Dragon's the character from Zenith, and Zenith like finished years and years ago, back in the 90s. But Rob Williams took on the writing duties to reintroduce Red Dragon, the Welsh superhero from the 60s team who was in Zenith. Rob Williams is Welsh, and the art is combined between Steve Yoel, who was the original Zenith artist, and Patrick Goddard. Patrick Goddard, in the previous Red Dragon story, did the modern day stories, which were in black and white, and Steve Yoel did the 60s stories, which were in vibrant colour, because obviously the 60s was much more colourful than modern day is. So this goes more into the background of Red Dragon from the 60s. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant one shot, and I hope they bring more Red Dragon stories soon. This was just superb. Absolutely superb. A perfect 10 out of 10. This is something that American comics can't do. They can't do proper working class heroes, and I don't mean America's versions of working class heroes aren't working class. The middle class, the people who really don't struggle financially. Peter Parker's middle class. He's not working class. You know, he's worked for schools and all that. He's not having to work down the mines or anything like that. This is pure working class, and it's with all the politics that go in with that as well. It's just brilliant. It's fantastic. And then a nice poster by Steve Yoel of the superhero team from the 60s in Zenith. Brink carries on. Again, the mystery just thickens. All the new characters being introduced are very interesting. And then there's a really cool one-shot Rogue Trooper story. Obviously, there's a Rogue Trooper film coming out, and what I've seen so far looks amazing. Cannot wait for that. That's the only comic film I'm really, really excited for. I will see Supergirl, The Avengers one, I'll wait until it comes to Disney Plus. I'm not too fussed, to be honest. I'm all Marveled out, Marvel Cinematic Universe out, but I will watch it eventually. But yeah, this is written by Andy Ewington, arts by Carl Richardson. It's good. It's very, very good. So it's a one shot where it's a one shot flashback tale, and Rogue Trooper comes across one of the enemy's killer robots, but the killer robot's been abandoned by the Nauts, who are the enemy, and he basically decides to help Rogue Trooper. And it's a very bittersweet tale. It reminds me of that one shot Alan Moore Rogue Trooper strip, which, if you want to read that, it is in the new Rogue Trooper collections, and it will also be featured in the Alan Moore hardback what's coming out, or has come out, which I will be getting, and I will be doing a review of when I get it. And then this had me excited. 2000 AD, the next issue, 2477. So back to your normal regular schedule where it's just a standard 32 page prog. So this story carries on. Like I said, very enjoyable. Really, really cool. This looks so appealing. That's how you do a teaser page for an oncoming series. So this is going to be a supernatural themed Judge Dredd strip, what's going to be in the Judge Dredd magazine. So Brink, again, just a masterclass, just absolutely wonderful. She's so dislikable, this new character. This I've not got. I thought of putting on my pull list on my comic shop and I hadn't, so I am going to have to get it because I adore the relaunch of Battle Action and this action one shot. I need it. I need it so much. So once I get it, I'll do a review. But this is what's got me excited. Silver. It's one of the newer strips. It's only had like 2 previous stories, but the art by Joe Curry and the writer by Mike Carroll is fantastic. He's a regular for 2000 AD. He's done some amazing Judge Dredd strips and other things. But John Curry, he's got a really curious background. He's a fine artist. He's done sculpture as well. So he's come into comics in a very different way. He's come from a fine art background, a very established fine art background. And I think he did a graphic novel with the film director Ben Wheatley. And then from that, he moved on to this. So Silver is about a vampire, this centuries-old lady vampire, who's been brought back from hibernation because the world is now. So it's kind of like War of the Worlds meets Dracula. So the world is being run by these alien overlords. Almost got like John Wyndham. It's like if John Wyndham did the Dracula story. That's the closest I could put it to, because it's quintessentially English, very much so. And so the Resistance have brought by this vampire woman because fight evil with evil, and to basically fight these alien overlords. But then you've got these human, basically like drones, who are just like servants for the alien overlords. It's wonderful, and the art is amazing. They have brought out a collection of the first stories, and I highly, highly recommend picking it up because look at the art. It's up there with the finest European artists like Mobius and that lot. It's just so stylistic. I absolutely adore it, and the story is such a fun read. Really, really good. And then there's another one shot, Future Shock. This was quite clever. I liked it. It had a really bitter sting in the tail. And that makes good Future Shock when it leaves you a bad taste in your mouth. And then, just checking my mic was on still. Then we got the next part of Helium. Again, look at the colours. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. This is amazing. I mean, look at that page. So it's a group. This group of disparate characters are basically banded together. One's a copper. One's like her most trusted psychic, who's basically just a head on a robot body. And one's this other guy. I can't remember what he's. Some kind of scientist in this steampunk world, and they basically end up have to go to this other place, and it reveals what this other place is like later on. Before we come on to that, look at this John McCrea cover. That is just badass. I love, love, love John McCrea's new style. I adore it. Oh, come on, DC. Give him a Vertigo title. And we carry on with that Judge Dredd story. It was fun, and the art is growing on me. Paul Marshall's getting into the flow again. That is a great illustration. If you notice, I've not mentioned the magazines. I've got the most two recent magazines I've not read yet, so I can't really. I don't want to lie to you and review them if I've not read them. So that'll be coming most likely next week or the week after. So I'm reading Luther Arkwright at the moment, and there's a lot of pages to go through. So Brink carries on again, just a masterpiece. I mean, look at the. It's not just the characters IJ Kobold does well. It's the whole feel of the spaceship. Look how he does this landscape. Just amazing. And then we come on to Silver, the next part. This is really good. It really develops the story so well. So she's basically, in the previous storyline, she really got battle scarred. So this guy is looking after her. He's nursing her back to health. Oh, it's just glorious. It goes across the whole of the continent, from England to France, etc. I love anything where it's like mankind fighting against mankind be like fighting against alien invaders. Just wonderful. Then there's a really cool future shock here. Jace Petey, good writer, and with wonderful art by Steve York, but much more of a sketchy style than what he normally does, but it works. He's got, again, really quirky ending to it. And then we move on to the next installment of Helium. Again, this art, oh my god, it's so good. I adore this comic. I really do hope to bring out a collection of the first book of Helium, because that came out quite a long time ago. And then another standout cover by Steve Austin. This is When the Law Reigns Supreme. Look at that Judge Dredd with the cityscape superimposed on him. Amazing. Can't wait for that. Helen Shuck, one of my favourite series. I adore that strip. And I've had interactions with the writer on threads. Really, really great writer, David Barnett. Highly recommend checking out Helen Shuck. So this comes to its conclusion. A bittersweet ending, because you end up really liking these two young vigilantes. Brink, again, just look at the colours on Brink. And yeah, Joe Colbert does the colours as well. This is what 2000 AD has over anything in the big two in America. On series like this, the creative teams stay on because they have enough breathing time. So they stay on. You don't have to worry about that. Obviously, characters like Judge Dredd and Astrology Blog, they're like perennials. They're always continuing. So for those, they have changing groups. But for like these other stories, they try and keep the creative teams on, and Silver just carries on, ramping up the pace. Absolutely wonderful. Just look at that. And it's almost like a commentary on the troubles in Ireland from the 70s and 80s. Flashback to how she was when she was younger and some of her relatives. This is just glorious. Then this strip is a curious one. Nice clean art. These are the winners of the 2026. These are the winners of the Folk Bubble competition, where every year Folk Bubble, which is a UK comic convention, 2000 AD, is on the lookout for a new writer and a new artist, and these are the winners. Nice, nice, clean artwork. It was a fun little story. This is what I can't wait for. That's why I was talking about the Alamo book. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. And Helium carries on. So they've turned upon this new like city, and it's this weird throwback to like Elizabethan times or Georgian times. So she wakes up and she realizes she's being dressed up in this weird way, like this really arch OTT makeup, and everybody else has got it. But there's darker secrets. Like if you look closely at this page, I don't think I'd be going there for a meal. That's all I'm saying. And it shows so that's one of her companions. He's in this holding bay with all these carcasses, human carcasses, being waited to be filleted. So that's his fate unless he can escape. But then cyborg companion, the one whose head was stuck in a robotic machine. That's all that remains of him at the moment. So we don't know what's going to happen there. So yeah, another great solid issue. This is what's coming out next week for people who buy it in the comic shops. I subscribe, so I got it this Saturday, and I only found out today I got it on Saturday, which was a nice surprise. There's a really this looks good. New strip coming out adrift. Staz Johnson is a really good, dependable artist. And then we have a one-shot Judge Dredd strip, Silent Witness, by Ken Nyman, who's a great Judge Dredd writer, and Nick Dye. I didn't used to like Nick Dye, but he's very much becoming Cam Kennedy in style. His art style's improving a hell of a lot. So this was a fun one and done 6-page story. And again, another advert for that new Judge Dredd strip in Judge Dredd magazine. I can't wait. It looks so good. Nick Percival does creepy very, very well. Then Brink, again, just wonderful dialogue. But look at this. What's good with Brink as well, they've got this new thing where she can FaceTime with people on another ship, but basically become like a 3D projection there, so she can actually explore the ship and interact with them, but just not physically, but it's as if she's there. So she's investigated this mystery on their ship. And just look at that, that's pure Stanley Kubrick. This page, I am having such fun with 2000 AD at the moment. And here, just look at that. So she's walking, and then she senses, she goes, who? So there's a mystery character on the ship who's not accounted for. And then Silver carries on, just a delight. And these weird creatures. And then there's a new Farg thriller. This one I really did enjoy. It's called Poster Girl. So she's kind of like used by the government to be like a spokesperson, like a superhero kind of spokesperson. It's written by Paul Starkey, art by Paul Marshall of the Judge Dredd strip from a few progs before. But I really enjoy his artwork in this. He's changed his style slightly as well. So this was a fun setup to a new story. There's a mystery about who is this character. So yeah, that was good. Good start up a 3-part story. And then Helium, oh my god, it's just great. So she's basically being forced to be the king's. He's become a self-appointed king of this land, wife / concubine, and this is the repulsive creature that wants to marry her or breed her, basically. And she doesn't want that, and so she gets zapped, and they say take her away. So that finishes on a really good twist. So just superb. Let's just again just look at these covers. So think about it. 2000 comes out every week. It's a very small company compared to the ones in America, but the quality is astounding. So you've got that wonderful silver cover there. You've got that great Judge Dredd cover. Another fantastic Judge Dredd cover. Another great silver cover. This wonderful Cliff Robinson Judge Dredd cover, who's one of the finest Judge Dredd artists going at the moment. But he is predominantly now just doing covers. And we look at the detail. There's no way he could do that on a weekly basis. Another Colin Wilson cover. And a great Steve Yo one. So that's it. You must see a new 2000 AD review in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But before then, I will do a review of the latest 2 Judge Dredd magazines. Okay, bye.